I don't know.
Yeah, it's better not to rack out.
Yeah. Fourth, make it fifth place here. Mike Skinner in the gold car getting shuffled out. Sterling Marlin is up under him. 97 car is Kurt Busch. Las Vegas youngster moving into sixth. Jerry Nadeau to seventh. There's Ken Schrader racing Skinner for eighth. Schrader down low.
And look how quickly that these guys start falling back as soon as they get side by side. Schrader goes by. Now Robbie Gordon follows. Here comes John Andretti. Kenny Wallace. And look at Craven in the middle. Wally, that's not worked too well. He gets by Todd Bodine in the 66. Then Rusty Wallace is going to try the middle.
Oh, boy, he slid that right there in front of that Kmart car. Wow.
So Ricky Craven continues to move forward after starting last. He's up to 14th, and Jeff Gordon, he slides back. He started third. He's fallen back to 13th spot. The Daytona 500 is underway. Caution free so far, but Tony Stewart is already out of it. .44-acre Lake Lloyd shimmering in the Florida sunshine in the infield of the Daytona International Speedway as 41 drivers pursue victory in the Great American Race. NBC Sports with live coverage of the Daytona 500, 16 laps in. Let's check our lows, improvers, and snoozers, those moving up in the early going, including 3 Ford drivers.
Rusty Wallace, we said start 37th. Ashley started about 43rd, has moved up to 12th. Kenseth, great run going so far, and Ricky Craven.
And some of the snoozers, drivers slipping back.
Tony Stewart obviously has to lead that group with an engine problem. Jimmy Johnson, our pole sitter, back to 26th.
No change on the leaderboard. Michael Waltrip still out in front with Dale Earnhardt Jr. second. And let's go to pit road. Here's Dave Burns.
Alan, the driving, the racing is a little bit different here at Daytona this year, and a lot more guys are using rear view mirrors to do their driving. Now, these little things are about 2 or 3 inch convex mirrors that they mount to the window post just on driver's left. It helps them look behind them, but the drivers who don't use them, and there's at least a dozen who don't have them on their car today, call them blocking mirrors. They don't like them. Wally, did you ever use a mirror like this and block someone?
Well, I've blocked someone for sure, but I've never used a mirror. And Dave, I think he's actually absolutely right. They put those mirrors on there to look to see when a guy is coming up and getting a run. When he sees a guy on in that mirror coming up real fast, you throw the block. At a race like this, you look through the rear view mirror as much as you do the windshield. Wouldn't you agree, BP?
I agree wholeheartedly, and again, that's what they are, blocking mirrors, nothing else but.
Can't believe you didn't have one on your go-kart helmet the other night. You were blocking all over the place.
Didn't need to. I was out front.
Yeah.
Didn't need it.
About to complete 50 miles of this race as Michael Waltrip crosses the start-finish line with the race lead. Waltrip has led all but the first 3 circuits of the event. Kevin Harvick paced those. Look at the running order on top of the screen, and what we've seen now that we've put 50 miles in and we've put those laps on these sets of tires is the race is thinning out.
Yeah, it's gone Indian file, hasn't it, Alan? And as I said, I'm real interested to see what happens with the Fords right now, because without that little extra rear spoiler, yes, it makes their cars a little bit faster, but it takes a little bit of downforce away. Downforce, let me try to explain it real quick. It's like if I'm sitting on a bicycle and Benny's sitting next to a bicycle, Benny's bicycle is going to get into that racetrack a lot better than mine. It's got more downforce, and that's what we're talking about downforce.
I resemble that remark. Matt, what's going on with the 15 car?
Well, Benny, while Michael Waltrip continues to lead, one of the main reasons why he went to the front, his car was running a little warm. The water temperature was starting to climb, so he went to the front to get some clean air, not the turbulent warm air, to try to cool that water down a little bit. He says his car is just a tick loose, just like the Twin 125 qualifiers on Thursday. Bill?
Matt, at the beginning of this race, Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson both had good starting positions, but once they threw the green flag, they didn't have any friends. So when the field started moving forward, no one would help the 24 or the 48. They've fallen back in the pack. Gordon just radioed in, "I've lost the draft." He told his crew a few minutes ago the car is tight. I'll just have to ride for now. He's waiting for the pack to catch him from behind. As for the car he co-owns and our rookie pole sitter, Jimmy Johnson, he's getting tremendous encouragement over the radio, but his car is also tight. Chad Knaus just told him, do your best, we'll fix it when we pit.
Wow. Dale Jr.'s in trouble. Turn 2.
Right front tire looks like it may have come apart. Definitely came apart.
Caution is out. Another contender fallen by the wayside early.
And Tony Uri Sr., the crew chief, is telling his crew what to do.
And that is just ripping that car apart.
It does so much damage if you have oil lines or brake lines or anything. That is just like a big old whip going through there and tearing everything apart.
Michael Waltrip.
I don't know, run over something. What?
Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s radio. Michael Waltrip has led the field back to the caution and they've slowed behind the pace car.
Sir Tony. You got a little bit more than the fender.
Yeah, you got the hood, part of the door, part of the nose of the car.
Probably some of the firewall.
And what of the suspension underneath it? Here's what happened to Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Watch as we go down in turn 1. Junior's the second car, and all of a sudden, the right front just lets go, just goes flat.
And I'll tell you what, if it's going to go flat, that's the best place on this racetrack to go down. Normally, we see the right front tires go down right when you're in the center of the corner, and you hit the wall hard. He was real lucky there.
Another shot, you see the car wiggle, you see Harvick dive to the inside, and Junior wisely goes up high on the racetrack, getting out of everyone's way.
On board, Michael Waltrip. Oh, what was that?
There's debris on the racetrack, and that's probably what cut the right front tire on Earnhardt's car. Matt?
Benny, Michael Waltrip came on the radio and said, either something fell off my car or I ran over something, and that something is exactly what Dale Earnhardt Jr. ran over, so we probably need to pit just to check our tires as well. Marty.
Dale Jr. did think he ran over something, Matt. He said he thought he felt something, and that's what caused the right front to go down. This is such a heartbreak for these guys. He was having fun in the race car, very reminiscent of his father, who had such bad luck in this race so many times. He came in as a favorite. It will end in disappointment.
Everybody's on pit road for stops. First ones of the day, Dave.
And Bobby Labonte is in. His car was just a tick loose. They're going to make a chassis adjustment to take care of that. 4 tires for the former Winston Cup champion here in the Daytona 500. Matt.
They already are going to work on the left side of Michael Waltrip's car. No chassis adjustments. They just pulled a piece of tape off the left front of the car. As the left side tires are on a little bit slow on the front.
29 car just ran into the side of Mike Skinner. Mike was coming into his pit. Kevin Harvick in the 29 was leaving his pit, and there was definitely contact there.
Bobby Labonte got boxed in trying to leave his pit stall when Shauna Robinson was trying to get to hers. And Michael Waltrip had a terrible stop.
Every car that was on the racetrack running was in the lead lap. So they were in the lead lap. They could all make a pit stop. They all came down pit road at the same time. And let's face it, this pit road will not accommodate 40 cars at one time.
We'll try to get a look at the right front of Kevin Harvick's car to see how much damage there is. If there is some damage, that could hurt him, but we're not sure how much damage there is to the nose of that car.
So we'll reset the order as they came off of pit road in a moment. Some contenders finding early trouble in the Daytona 500. A lot of things happening in the early going of the 44th Daytona 500. NBC Sports in Daytona Beach, Florida, with the opening race of the 2002 NASCAR Winston Cup season. Here's what's happened to one of the contenders to win, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
You see the piece of debris shadowed? It goes under the car, hits the front, and you see the thing come out the side of the car about the same time as Junior's right front tire goes flat.
Here's Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s view.
You just see he's right along just like he's been doing, and there's no time to react. I don't even know if he actually saw the piece come out from under Michael's car. But it's just,
the question is, did it come from Michael's car or was it on the track?
right. right there. And then the tire goes down, and boy, you know that right away. That steering wheel starts shaking in your hand, and he did the best thing he could. Just try to keep it straight, let these guys behind him get around.
That puff of smoke there you saw just before the piece of metal came out. So don't know, again, whether it came from Michael's car or whether it was on the track.
And right now, with the damage that he has to his car, with all this damage, Dale Earnhardt Jr. will not win the Daytona 500, but they'll try to get the best finish they can. Marty?
Benny, here's what's left of that tire. The inner liner did not stay up. It's pretty badly damaged. Over here, Dale Earnhardt Jr., they're putting on a piece of a right front fender. They had a whole nose that they wanted to put on if they needed to. They just cut part of that off instead, and they're now going to replace the right front fender on Dale Jr.'s car. But indeed, their shot to win this race is pretty much over.
Kevin Harvick got some damage trying to leave pit road.
Yeah, I was watching Kevin's pit stop, and just as he was leaving the pit, Skinner, the 4 car, is trying to dive into his pit, and here's the contact, and did quite a bit of damage right there. You can see on the right front, right in front of the tire. Aerodynamically, that hurts.
Ricky Rudd has been on pit road as well several times for repairs under this caution. Matt Kenseth is off pit road first. The green flag back in the air at Daytona. Matt Kenseth is the new leader of the Daytona 500. Ken Schrader came off pit road second. John Andretti third. Ryan Newman fourth. And Sterling Marlin fifth. Here's a charge for the lead by Schrader.
With the help from John Andretti in the 43 car, they team up and drive by Kenseth. And here comes the 40 car trying to go on the inside.
Robbie Gordon in that orange and black 31 up in the mix.
Oh, he somehow got between the 12 car of Ryan Newman and the 7 of Casey Atwood. There wasn't room for that car.
Yeah, that was close, but the 25 was right on Robbie's tail and probably gave him a pretty good run so he could make that move.
Others in that group, the 7 of Casey Atwood, Bobby Labonte is up there, Dale Jarrett and Jeff Gordon are in the group also.
We're on board with Robbie Gordon as he tries to close in on the back of Ryan Newman.
4 lead changes so far today. Some concern about people's ability to pass the leader under these rules. It was a problem a couple of years ago under a very similar aerodynamic package. We'll track that throughout the day. Ward Burton riding the rim in that cat car toward the back of the pack, trying to make some moves forward. How good to see Ken Schrader leading the Daytona 500. His 18th start in this race. He's run very well all week long.
I talked to Newt Moore, his crew chief, quite a bit this week, and he was really excited about their chances. Kenny was happy with the car, the motor, everything. They're really pumped up.
And now it's Andretti on the outside with some help from Ryan Newman. Tries to take the lead. If the start-finish line had been on the backstretch, we might have credited Andretti with leading that lap, but it's
Matt Kenseth getting shuffled back into the field. Ken Schrader, Fenton, Missouri, 42 years old. Check that, 46 years old. 1991 was the last time he won a NASCAR Winston Cup race.
And John Andretti was credited with leading that lap.
This time for sure, BP, with these new rules like they are, if you're in the middle, you don't want to be there. You just go to the back. It used to be guys